If you ever are looking to understand the basic movements of the Rotary Swing Tour and how I've come about going through everything the way that I have, it's very simple to understand the basic overall movement of the golf swing, and that is the basic way that man has figured out how to propel an object. Man has not figured out a more efficient way to move its body and propel an object with speed than the basic throwing motion, and it's the exact same motion and movements that you're going to use in the golf swing. So what is a throwing motion? Well, for a right-handed person, they are going to step back onto their right leg, load their right side, step forward with the left, pivot the hip, load the right arm, pivot the body, and then fire the right arm. Note that my arm's externally rotating. I'm moving my shoulder blade as I go back to throw. Guess where? Back, down, and in. Sound familiar, right? This is how nobody throws a ball like this, not very far anyway. Right shoulder blade goes back and down. As the body moves forward, the energy is transferred up through the body, and then hence the arm is released. I have not seen, although I'd love to see it, but I have not seen anybody in the major leagues ever throw a ball like this. There's just no speed in it, or they'd be doing it. There's no power in that. So if you've ever been taught like, oh, the golf swing's 100% left arm, it may feel like that to that person, and I don't argue that the left arm has a very important job to do in the golf swing. It creates the shape of the swing, and a lot of the ways it creates the plane and the path combined with the right. It controls the impact alignments, helps control the club face. All of these things are very important, but it is mostly in a free swinging, free orbit, while the right arm is propelling it because it's way more efficient at throwing, which is the motion that you do in the golf swing. You load up on the right, you shift your weight, you pivot your hips, and then you fire your arm. It's the exact same motion that you do in the golf swing that you do throwing an object. So, and the same thing is true, like, well, why don't you just, you see tour pros sometimes stuff their arms into their armpits. Well, again, think about this logically. If I do this and I stuff my arms in here and I try and throw, where am I going to get any speed? I've taken out leverage out of the swing. I no longer can elevate my arms very high, which is leverage, right? This is a karate chop motion. You're not going to go to karate chop and break anything very hard from here, right? Same thing is true if I don't bend this arm very much. It's got to have some leverage. Same thing is true with my wrist. It's got to have some leverage. This arm produces a great deal of leverage in the swing. And when you take this out, it's now connected to my body. It can only move at the same rate that my body is turning. So you could hunt for your food if you were a hunter-gatherer and that's how you figured out how to throw a spear. I guess you could practice stuffing, I don't know what you'd have back then, your armpit hair maybe, into your arm and then turning, and then you could see how far you could throw your spear or your rock or whatever it was that you were hunting with. Probably not going to go very far. It's probably not going to be thrown very fast. The basic motion of RST is the exact same motion that man has figured out that's the most efficient way to propel an object. When we go to the top of the swing, we load up this right arm, we rotate this right arm, we load up this right side, we shift our weight, we fire this arm, and the left arm works along with it, and you got a golf swing. So if you ever get confused or lost that, you get so bogged down in details a lot of times that kind of miss the forest for the trees. That's why I did those videos reshaping your swing for lag, to just show you the basic swinging motion so that you can feel that in your own swing and practice to get the big picture and then work on all the little details. The way the right arm works is the basic motion of the golf swing. If you can understand how to throw an object, if you've ever skipped a stone across the water or thrown a ball or any of those things, that is the basic motion of how you produce a golf swing, how you produce speed in the golf swing. Once you get that, the rest of the golf swing is easy. So again, RST is a very commonsensical, logical, science-based approach to the swing, and that is the core fundamental of how you get club head speed in the swing.